Vedanta Vaani, September 2025. Subhashita Ratnam. Gunatitamanam Chidanandarupam Chidabhasakam Sarvagam Jnanagamyam Munitheyamapa Sarupam Paresham Parabrahmarupam Ganesham Bhajena. We worship the revered Lord Ganesh, who is beyond description, attributes and qualities, is of the nature of Sat Chit Ananda, can be approached by anybody, but is beyond all reach. He is meditated upon by sages, is vast as space, and is the ruler of the entire universe. The search for truth is not a sign of cowardice, laziness, or lack of intelligence. On the other hand, it is the mark of bravery, enthusiasm, and intelligence. Swami Tapovan Maharaj. The Lord showers His grace upon us and fills our heart with His presence only when we empty ourselves by offering our all to Him. Swami Chinmaya Lahari. Chintan. Be simple, be humble, be gentle, be honest, be sincere, be bold, be cheerful. A positive attitude always brings success in any task. Swami Shivananda. Living life by principles is indeed a life worth living. Life is filled with challenges, opportunities, and lessons. To navigate it, we need to live a life based on 6 core principles. It helps us to lead a very authentic life. Simplicity is stripping away unnecessary complications. It involves appreciating the little things. This reduces stress and enables us to enjoy life's genuine moments. Being simple is not a show off, it is a natural state arising out of one's conviction. Spending more time at home, eating more homemade food that than eating out often is a good way to practice simplicity. Humility keeps us grounded. To understand that we do not know everything and we can also learn from others. When receiving praise at work, acknowledge team's effort than taking sole credit. Admit mistakes and use them as learning opportunities. Humble individuals are often minded, respectful, and willing to admit mistakes. Gentleness reflects kindness and compassion in our actions and words. It creates a supportive environment. Practical application of this could be listening to a friend's problem without interrupting, or giving advice. We need to empathize with people and genuinely try to understand them. Honesty forms the foundation of trust and integrity. Being truthful, cultivates genuine relationships and self respect. Telling a friend the truth about how you feel, even if it is uncomfortable. There is no inside, outside. We tell the truth as it is without worrying about the consequences. Sincerity is about acting with genuine intentions and feelings. Actions are aligned with our beliefs. This encourages meaningful connections, offering to help someone in need genuinely without expecting anything in return. Any timely help given without worrying about the ability of the person to reciprocate. Being bold is stepping out of our comfort zone, standing for what is right, and embracing opportunities with optimism. Here, in current context, it is very important to be bold, to defend the honor of our country, culture, religion. Keeping quiet in difficult situations amounts to supporting those who are attacking our Sanatan Dharma. Dharma protects he or she who protects it. A cheerful attitude radiates positivity and resilience. It helps us to handle setbacks with grace. It is not as if that problems will never come or situation will always remain conducive. Our attitude should be that, irrespective of what comes to us in life, face it with a lot of cheer. Puja Gurudev never waited for things to happen. He did not sit down and cry when the situation became unfavorable. There were several situations which he faced both at individual and later at organizational level. But he never lost his cheerfulness. He was always bubbling with energy. Be it during the freedom struggle, during his student days, as a sadhak undergoing study in the Himalayas, initial attempts at Vedanta Prachar, when very few people came, later when Chinmaya mission grew very large, and the split which happened due to which the entire batch of trained acharyas at that time left the mission. Puja Gurudev remained undeterred. He was always enthusiastic, maintaining a very positive attitude, always inspiring whoever came near him. He remained in the present. He lived what he preached. That is why his teaching was so powerful and transformative. Even when people who he believed left the organization, he was always wishing well for them. He used to say that wherever they go, they are doing my work. He worked selflessly for the betterment of world in spite of varied reactions from the beneficiaries themselves. A large part of the credit for molding Puja Gurudev in this manner goes to Swami Shivananda, who inspired Gurudev. He changed Gurudev's initial opinion about sadhus and practically taught him as to how spirituality can be used to help the people in their day to day life. The life of discipline and genuinely helping people around him highly inspired Gurudev and molded his approach to Vedanta Prachar. which prompted him to go down to the plains with this great knowledge. A positive attitude followed by Gurudev attracts similar energies into our life. Following these six principles can lead to a more meaningful, authentic, and joyful life. Let us start small, be consistent, and watch how these virtues transform our lives. Benefits of a positive attitude are enhanced resilience, enables us to bounce back quickly. Tough times do not last long, but tough people do. Better problem solving, there will be obsession with opportunities, seeing glass half full versus half empty. Increased motivation, there will be a positive mindset which motivates the entire team. Improved relationships, a culture of collaboration and not a culture of competition. Reduced stress, feeling light, this is enlightenment. In our journey through life, the choices we make and the attitude we adopt shape our experiences and determine our success. My, by embodying certain key virtues, we can lead a life that is meaningful and genuine. When we live life with a positive attitude, we not only enhance our own lives but also inspire others around us. Start adopting these practices and values slowly in our day to day life. Be conscious and watchful. Observe these virtues in others also. Slowly, we will find that instead of complaining about life, we will be celebrating life, living life with a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Meditate, meditate, meditate. Param Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda. Regularity and sincerity are the secrets of success. Progress in meditation is never achieved according to program. Hurry burry will never take you anywhere except to the lunatic asylum. Go slowly. Allow the momentum of meditation to lift you unto it. Remember, you are the recipient. You must learn to wait. How long must we have waited as a rock before the stone life evolved into the plant life? How long nature must have knocked at the plant in order to make it a living animal? How many trillions of years it must have taken the animal to become man? Now, at this moment, because of our rational intellect and mind, we have an extent got the freedom to hasten evolution. To an extent, got the freedom to hasten evolution. What does not mean? That does not mean you can dash forth into his palace chamber. Let that intellectual vanity get completely dried up in all of us. In all humility, let us learn to surrender. It is not a question of our dashing into it, it comes and envelops us. We can never dash into sleep, can we? We prepare the ground for it and invoke sleep. Then sleep comes and envelops us. It is the strange play of vanity in all seekers walking the path of meditation that they think they can, according to their plan, reach their destination, and that too by the weekend. All those who tried that way failed in the past, they never even took off. Burning aspiration does not mean that in hurry burry you try to dash into it. The anxiety to sleep is the burning aspiration of the waker to reach sleep because he is tired, fatigued, with waking. So he hastens to quieten, to fold up his mind, to tune himself to sleep. But if he is excited and anxious to sleep, he will never do so. He should express that anxiety by quietening and folding up his mind, invoking sleep. Your American mentality is to maintain, always dash in, take up, get at, and enjoy. That hurry burry in your life has given you a wrong orientation of mind, which is unsuitable for spiritual life and progress. Everything in nature is slow, steady, and continuous, except earthquakes and storms, which are destructive. The blooming of the flower, the germination of the seeds, the growth of the tree, the sunrise and the moonrise, the sun and the moon setting, the high tide and low tide, all are slow processes, though precisely timed. If you sit near the sea and watch, you will find how slowly and steadily they happen. It is not possible that for 6 days you live a foul life and on the seventh day you dash into the presence of the Lord and say hi to Him. That is not the way. Spiritually, life is an attempt at hastening the evolution. It is not a call for revolution. There is no question of cooling down everything, burning and blasting. Out of our present condition emerges the inauguration of invoking of all slow and creative processes. The tamas in us is to be sublimated to rajas and the rajas purified into sattva. With the sattvic mind, we invoke the higher. To the degree the sattva is invoked, to that degree the higher descends into us. So, meditation is a process of tuning ourselves to it, but you have to wait. It is only when you try to dash into it that the experience fizzles out. Wait for it to descend. If it does not, there is no question of becoming impatient about it. It only means that the tuning up is not complete. And understand that from tomorrow onwards, your meditation will not be as intense as it had been these last few days of the camp, but that should not disappoint you. Sometimes we smuggle the students across the frontiers to areas where they have no right to enter, no visa. But these flickering experiences give you an assurance that a certain intensity of meditation is possible. These moments of the highest possible meditative mood will not come to you every day. The samples that you get when you are in meditation with the teacher constitute the ideal with which you can measure the intensity of meditation that you yourself reach in your independent attempts undertaken all alone. Further, this intensity is not only because of the teacher but also the joint effort of the congregation. When a large number of minds meditate together, a more meditative atmosphere is created. Remember that the total mind intellect is the Lord. The larger the congregation, the more intense becomes the experience. For those minds are fit for the highest. Even those who do not have a prepared mind can feel a strange presence, a wondrous sense of completeness. And now I go back to the instructions of the very first day. Meditation and spiritual life are impossible. They cannot touch you, they cannot affect you, even from a distance. If you are drooping in your mind, loaded with dejections, disappointments, sorrows, and despair, pessimism is the most dangerous attitude for the faith student. This idea is spoken of and preached by all religions when they say you must have faith, faith in the ultimate goodness, faith in a loving and all forgiving Lord. They use a positive language to indicate the attitude of hope and contentment. There is no use of your despairing. Religion is meant for the imperfect, not for the perfect. But the seeker who condemns himself for his imperfection is a fool. He does not know what he is doing. He is unnecessarily meditating on his own negative qualities, his own imperfections, and therefore he becomes more and more perfect in his imperfections. For as we meditate, so we become. Therefore, surrender your imperfections unto Him as your richest treasure. Offer it to Him. This is the meaning of your offering fruits and flowers to your teacher. Flowers are the sources of perfume. Perfume has got fragrance, vasanas. When we offer a flower unto Him, the symbolism is that we are trying to offer our vasanas at His altar. So too, fruits, the fruits of actions, the fruits of the earlier actions and thoughts that we had entertained are the vasanas that are recorded in our unmanifest, the causal body, which comes to express in our mental zone as sattva, rajas, and tamas. We are offering them all unto Him. The idea behind it all is to develop optimism, to get away from that feeling of helplessness that oozes out of the memories of past mistakes. More the mistakes we made in the past, the worse sinners are we, and hence the more fit for religion. Let us make ourselves available for the Lord to cure us. This attempt at surrender is the highest mode of meditation. An emotional person who surrenders unto Him, who reaches the same mood, also reaches the same mood of meditation. The intellectual one who understands that the consciousness that illumines everything is the self, turns away from all outer physical objects and inner vrittis or thoughts in search of that awareness that illumines everything. That is why I said in the very beginning. Keep yourself cheerful. Now that you have chosen your path, now that you have learned to surrender unto Him, why carry the load? Let Him carry your cross, thus surrendering the bundle of your futile memories of the past and your worries of the future at His feet. Be hopeful, rich in a faith born out of understanding. Learn to smile away your sorrows. Be unaffected by the play of sattva, rajas, and tamas in you. Be relaxed with none of your inhibitions, hangovers, or tensions in the mind. With such a cheerful mind, you can remodel your personality. Every time you sit down for meditation, go through all the process, the posture, the thought massage, the surrender to the Lord, the deep breathing, the mental chanting, the slowly silence the chanting in your own mind. When you are sure the mind's wandering have ended, all these preparations may take 10 to 15 minutes. The actual attempt of holding yourself in the pure silence may only be for a split moment. It is right that it should be so. Never try to lengthen it. The attempt of the meditator is to add a depth to the silence, not add duration to it. If you try a longer duration of silence within, you will be suppressing thoughts, which is not an evolution, and every sitting cannot be successful. If anybody says that he is regular at meditation, the split second of pure silence, he utters a lie, and he is not engaged in meditation at all. Every day cannot be the same, and there are certain days every month when you won't get it at all. The days when you are not in a meditative mood, on that day do japa for a longer time. It is at such moments when the mind is in a righteous mood, riotous mood, riotous, riotous mood, and in total revolt, that the mala becomes very useful for the seeker, to the seeker. Regularity and sincerity are the watchwords of the meditator, the pledge of the spiritual seeker. So, even though you are not in the mood, see that you sit down for meditation under all conditions. Even if you are traveling, these 10-15 minutes are not yours, they belong to the Lord. Regularity can be maintained even in the modern society when you meditate at or before dawn, because early morning is the time when no one will disturb you. If you try it in the evenings, 1,000 disturbances may rise up to agitate you. If you work late on night shifts and return home in the morning, don't try to meditate. That is time for you to sleep your night time. After sleeping, when you get up fresh, that is your dawn. Thus, meditation is not to be ordered by the chronometer or determined by the position of the sun in the sky. It depends upon the condition of cheer and vigor of the mind. Thus, intelligently select a time when the disturbance is least and be regular in your attempts at meditation. The myriad meanings of Dharma, Swami Swarupananda. One of the most famous verses of the Bhagavad Gita is यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्. Whenever there is a decline in righteousness and an increase in unrighteousness, O Arjun, at that time I manifest myself on earth. The Lord states that He takes avatar whenever there is a decline of dharma in society and individual life. As Gurudev would say, when no one else can handle the situation, the boss himself wears the gumboots and descends into the labor camp. The word dharma is understood in many different ways. Some people refer to it as religion. Others see it as righteousness or as a set of values. Most Indians would immediately think of dharma as duty. All the meanings are correct, but to understand essence of the word, we have to understand what is meant by the decline of dharma and what happens when there is such a decline. Dharma, the essence. The Gita starts with the word Dharmakshetre and ends with the word Matirmama. Therefore, commentators point out that it teaches us our dharma. What is meant by dharma? The Sanskrit dictionary has at least 3 pages with 3 columns, each giving different facets of the depth of this word. The root form of dharma is dhru, that which upholds, that which sustains. In short, it is that because of which a thing exists. It is the natural characteristic function of a thing. It is that which cannot be separated from its nature. For instance, sugar can be dark or light brown, while crystalline, powdered or cubed. These are various forms of sugar. But what makes sugar sugar? Sweetness is the quality of sugar. If it is not sweet, it is not sugar. Likewise, what is the dharma? The nature of fire. It is heat and light. Have you ever seen a cold fire? If it is cold, it is not fire. Thus, the essence of a thing is its dharma. In the highest sense, what is the dharma of everyone and everything? The essence, the substratum of this ephemeral universe is Satchidananda, existence, consciousness and bliss, Atman. The existence principle is apparent in everything. In the first verse of Saddarshanam, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi asks, Satpratyaya kinnu vihaya santam. Can there indeed be the belief, faith, firm conviction, or idea of existence without that which exists? Consciousness is visible in plants, animals, and human beings in a varying degree. All of us struggle and live just to gain happiness. This bliss is our very nature. This Atman, the Self in all beings, is Satchidananda, which is infinite. That which is infinite is complete. It is totally satisfying, it's full, it is Ananda. Therefore, abundance in one's nature, knowing and recognizing the Satchidananda Atman is the dharma of everyone It is our highest and greatest duty, dharma. Dharma, highest knowledge. Since the self, the Atman, is the nature of everything, we think that we have to find and seek it. The fact is that our real nature is hidden from us because of our ignorance, our identification with the body, mind, and intellect. Construct. Only right knowledge can remove this ignorance. Therefore, the knowledge that takes us to and reveals the highest dharma is also dharma. न गुरोरधिकं तत्त्वं न गुरोरधिकं तपः तत्त्वज्ञानात् परं नास्ति तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. There is no higher truth than the Guru, no higher penance than service to the Guru, and there is nothing higher than realization of the knowledge of the truth imparted by the Guru. My salutations to such a Guru who is himself that very timeless truth. Dharma sadhanas. To gain this supreme knowledge, we need to integrate pure mind with a single pointed and focused intellect. Hence, all those sadhanas, all those practices, japa, tapa, puja, or dhyana, are also called dharma, since they assist us in tuning up and purifying our minds. Manashodhanam, and enable us to gain this knowledge. They are also categorized as dharma. Dharma, duties. The first and most effective step to purify the mind is karma yoga. Consequently, karma yoga is dharma. When we perform our bounden duties for the well-being of everyone, it is dharma. Dharma, as performance of duty, can be classified into two categories: Samanya Dharma and Vishesha Dharma. Samanya Dharma is common for all members of society. In addition, all the virtues like sharing, compassion, kindness, and so on that inspire us, enrich our minds, calm and integrate the mind are all referred to as dharma. Vishesha dharma are special duties determined according to our stage, position, and status in life, varna and ashram, as well as our swabhava, our innate temperament and aptitude. Therefore, it is imperative to know the prescribed duties of our respective professions. For instance, a doctor must know about his duty clearly and not confuse it with the duties of another's vocation. This is illustrated lucidly in the case of Sushena, who is brought by Hanumanji to cure Lakshmana. Being Ravana's Vaidya, physician, Sushena was in a dilemma regarding his duties as a doctor. How could he treat his boss's enemy? Vibhishana educates him by pointing out that a doctor's duty is to treat everyone and not judge the suitability of the patient. Likewise, Arjuna's duty as a warrior was to defend his country, adharma, against attacks. A doctor does not have to pick up arms, he has to save lives, even if it is someone from the enemy camp. There is a code of ethics in each profession. Duties are also governed by one's stages in life. For example, if you are a student, then do not become a politician. Your primary duty is to gain knowledge and serve your teachers. Here, service is attunement with the teacher and gaining the knowledge that will equip you to enter the next stage of your life as a grihastha, wherein you join a profession, get married, and have a family. The grihastha ashram is unique as it supports all the other three ashrams. Hence, it is the duty of grihastha to earn, create wealth, and serve the society. In addition, the grihastha ashram is to prepare you for the next two stages. The vanaprastha ashram for retired people is to sit, watch soap operas or movies from is not to sit watch soap operas or move from one child's home to another's. It is the time to give back to humankind. Give back whatever you have gained in your life, your knowledge, your experience, your wealth. The last stage is that of a sannyasi, where duties entirely, whose duties entirely are different from that of a householder. Dharma, spiritual and material prosperity. When everyone performs their respective duties, there is both spiritual and material prosperity in the world. Performance of our duties according to our role of aptitude, according to our swabhava, leads to the reduction and finally the elimination of our vasanas, thereby integrating the mind and intellect and making it a calm and fit instrument to receive knowledge. Determining our dharma. How do we determine our dharma? Here are a few pointers. Our nature is Sat, existence. Then to live and to let others live is dharma. Our true nature is consciousness. To become aware, to know, to gain knowledge and to impart it is dharma. Our nature is ananda, happiness, to be happy, not to be depressed and miserable, and share happiness with others is dharma. Our nature is oneness, hence to unite is dharma. To recognize one's duty amid conflicts and follow it is dharma. Learning from examples of great people and living as they live is dharma. Doing unto others as you would want them to do to you is dharma. Adharma is all that is opposed to dharma. It is not the mere of dharma, but it is the opposite of dharma. Therefore, to divide and rule is adharma, to cause misery to others and also to yourself is dharma, to cheat and spread ignorance or deprive people of right knowledge is adharma, the avatar of the Absolute. Once a person approached Puja Gurudeva and stated, "You know, I am going to be very cruel. I am going to kill and plunder, I am going to destroy, I am going to be very heavy." Why? Questioned Gurudeva. So that Bhagavan will take avatar. They laughed. For such many Ravanas like you, we Swamis are enough. Bhagavan can take avatar whenever he wants. When the universe is trapped in dharma, righteousness, there is no need for the Lord to come down. When dharma is rampant, there is also no need for him to come. It is only when dharma is being oppressed that Bhagavan takes avatar, even if it is for one prahlad. Whenever there is a decline of dharma, That is when the prosperity and absolute good of all are affected. When there is a rise of adharma, when the majority live in selfishness, when negative forces become powerful and suppress those trying to lead a noble life of values and virtues, the mighty Lord manifests Himself. Hari Om. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Hari Om. Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha.